Ready? Play.
So we had de Minaur losing to Cobolli. I know Alex in his post-match press conference made some comments about just how intense the tour is and how at times he finds that tough. And I know he's mentioned that before, and he repeated some of those sentiments today. Grigor Dimitrov losing in 5 sets to Artur Fery in one of the matches of the tournament and one of the results of the tournaments and one of the runs of the tournament. So many storylines emerging from that on both sides of the net. Let's begin with Dimitrov Fery because it was a 5-set classic. Amanda?
Yeah, it was quite the match. Oh my God, I don't even know how to describe it because, like at the beginning, it seemed like, okay, Fery takes the first set, but then Dimitrov takes the next 2. He seems to be in a rhythm. He's up a break in the 4th, gets broken back, and then he goes up a break again. And like, there was never a point where I thought that it was going to go to 5, and then it went to 5. And it was just, like the energy in center court, I've never seen anything like that. It was, and like on the hill too, they kept showing the hill and it was, you couldn't even see the grass. So it was just an incredible atmosphere, and Fery just played with so much heart and so much grit, and he didn't let the moment get to him at all. And I was so impressed by how he just stayed in it, being down a break twice in the fourth, just staring down defeat, and he stayed in it and won it in a 5th set tiebreak. So just really impressive from him.
Okay. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I felt desperately sorry for Dimitrov. I know there's all euphoria and there's a Brit player playing at home. It's a wild card. He fully deserved the win and all the rest of it. But yeah, there's still a part of me because of what happened a year ago and Grigor's career in a way. Anyway, over to you, Brenna. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, I feel terrible for whoever loses this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sure Dimitrov is so happy to have made it this far, and Fery probably feels like he's, you know, already lived his dream at this point, besides, you know, lifting the Wimbledon title. But it's just been the story of the tournament for Arthur Fery, and a little bit of destiny, you know, if you will, a little bit of like New York Knicks style. But you even think back to the match against Bergs, he's a double breakdown in the fourth. It's like, okay, we're probably packing things up. Finds a way, uses the crowd, just a fitness guru, stays in these rallies, moves so well, hits the ball so well for, you know, someone who's 5'9" too. And I even I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but in my conversation with Zach Schweida last year, he told me about, like, you know, being shorter on the surface, you know, the ball kind of stays more in the strike zone, just because grass is a little bit, not a little bit, it's a lot of a lower bouncing surface. So that actually benefits him in this sense. And obviously grew up very close to Wimbledon. So Arthur Fery, you know, comfortable on the surface. But yeah, I think that's just kind of the story of the tournament, how he hasn't given up. He's found a way to fight and claw his way back into these matches and use the crowd to his advantage. And he countered Dimitrov really well today, because I think Dimitrov's played like really good front foot tennis, and his ability to, you know, hit the inside out forehand, get to the net, and use his hands is kind of the reason that he's made it this far again. But a tough one for either of the both players, but obviously happy for Britain and their tennis.
Yes, indeed. Final word on this match before we move on, Amanda.
On the match, I mean,
or even after Fery in the run.
Yeah, he just, I hadn't really watched him play before, but like I was so moved. Like I see the vision with him, if that makes sense. You know, like Brenner said, he just, like, it works on grass. He just makes it work, and that was so fun to watch. And it was so great to see him in his interview after. Like, he seemed very overwhelmed, and I don't know, like, this is clearly a dream come true for him. So I was just really happy for his win. But then, like you said, so sad for Dimitrov. This is just one of those matches where it's like, it's such a shame that someone has to lose.
Yeah, and on this occasion, it was Artur Fery who won, and Grigor Dimitrov, fingers crossed we see him at Wimbledon one or two more occasions, and maybe even another crazy run. Next up for Artur Fery, I've lost my draw. Here we go. Next up for Artur Fery is going to be Flavio Cobolli. I did mention the De Minaur sort of comments post-match. And actually, this is probably one that I did see coming. I think De Minaur getting to the fourth round is sort of made sense, but probably not much further. Cobolli is just playing brilliantly at the moment. He's great on the natural surfaces, as he's proven now at the slams over the last 12 months, including his now second quarterfinal in a row. Last year, of course, memorably took a set off Djokovic, and I think it might have been close to a 5-setter. What are your thoughts on Cobolli right now, Brenna?
Just keep showing up and showing how impressive he is. You know, I think every time this year we spoke about him, we talked about the top 10 conversation. We thought there was potential, but it's a long season, right? And he hadn't kind of come up against these big time opponents, but his tennis is awesome. Belief, controlled aggression, he had the best shot. I mean, he goes into a lot of his matches with the best shot on the court, which is the forehand. And then to complement that, he has some of the best movement and athleticism on the tour. So I will be honest and say, I didn't think he would be here. I thought it would be Karen Khachanov, especially when it was, was it 4-set? Karen held 1-love and had love 40 to go 2 sets to 1 up in a breakup. So anyway, going into that match, I thought Karen would come through, but he kind of just crushed Karen's dreams as the match went on. Wasn't able to hit through him and then forced some errors. But credit to Cobolli also fighting, because he was down a break many, many times in this match and just played with a little bit more belief, probably a little bit more relaxed, knowing what he's done over the last month and a half, 2 months. So definitely tough watch in a sense on the ADM side of things, because you could feel kind of the weight. You could see the weight rather on his shoulders. But that's part of the sport, right? That's part of sports in general. It's part of life. And I guess to be young in this tour benefited Cobolli a bit too.
Yeah, maybe. But the run ends for Fery next match. Amanda? That's not like a statement.
I think so. I mean,
statement stroke question, but yeah.
Here's the thing. There were very, very few results that would have surprised me from the Cobolli Demonar match, but Cobolli in 3 did genuinely surprise me, just because, as we saw in the Khachanov match, he's like Madison Keys. The highs are so high and the lows are so low with Cobolli, and I was not expecting him to get through this in straight sets, but he did. And he showed, I think, a very impressive level, and he is the heavy favorite in this match. So I would say he's getting through, but I know that's just the thing with Cobolli, is like you never know when he's going to start hitting a bunch of errors. And I feel like Fery will very much be playing with nothing to lose. And he's playing really well, and he could take advantage of a maybe less informed Cobolli. But if Cobolli plays the way he did today, then I don't think he's losing.
You know the head-to-head, Brenna?
0-0.
No, that's what you would think. That's what you would think, and Amanda knows it, therefore. So that's great. But there was a great tweet today from Vanch that I retweeted to this end, and you know what the head-to-head is, Amanda, right?
Yeah, it's 1-0 for Fery.
Exactly, and there was a great tweet from Vanch to this end today. Because that match happened in Australia. I can't find the tweet right now, but the tweet was basically, who would have thought when Fery wins that match in Australia at the beginning of the year, who would have thought 6 months later that, Cobolli would have broken into the top 10 and they would have got to the final of the French Open, and that also this would be a quarterfinal at Wimbledon. I mean, it's just sort of fanciful kind of nonsense really that would have been spoken, and the people would have wanted to lock you up. And I don't think Vanch, I'm paraphrasing Vanch there, but he said something like that. And yet here we are, 1-0. I actually have no recollection of this match in Australia whatsoever. But hats off to Fery for winning that one. And yet, I think the Fery run ends here. I think the Dimitrov one. I mean, the Dimitrov match today, I didn't see all of it, but I saw bits of it. There was a lot of emotion in the crowd, and that can help. And one thing with Grigor today was, I think he felt the occasion, and it's kind of weird that someone who's been on the tour for such a long time, 20 odd years or whatever it is, best part of 20 years anyway, 15 years plus, I just saw him hit a big point, and he hit it well. I don't know if it was saving a break point or it was a big one in the tiebreak, and he turned around and we went like that, and he was sort of feeling like most of us do when we're watching these matches. And really, most tennis players, even if they're looking away from their opponent, still keep that in. And I do think he was feeling it today. And it's always so funny with sports players, because we often hear these people, listen, when you're super young, you've got no nerves and you can hit freely. But then on the other side of the fence, we say, but that player's been here before, so they should handle the occasion better. So I think it just depends. It depends on where you're at. And maybe because Grigor hasn't played a lot of big matches in the last 12 months, sadly, maybe he was feeling it a bit more today. But it is what it is. And Grigor, fingers crossed to say we'll see him again in big matches again very soon, and maybe even Wimbledon next year. But Fery against Cobolli. Cobolli's winning this, Brenner, right? Ooh.
Yes. I'm not as convinced.
I'm confident for Cobolli.
Okay. I think like both of their runs are really interesting because for me, it feels like Cobolli has found ways to squeak through. And that's what good players do, right? Even when you're not playing your best tennis. But going against Navone, where he just squeaked it out, it felt like I think he was down a set and a break, was able to recover in the second set, found some footing, showed up the next day, had to play that fourth. So I'm going to go with the thesis being they've both played a lot of tennis. Think about that Hatchinoff match. That was 4 hours. Duckworth even, caused problems. That was 3 hours. And yeah, he's a better player. Kind of an interesting result, though. I don't know why. I mean, I totally...
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah. My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuned in from. Fery has held serve to go up 1-love at the beginning of their encounter. This is, of course, a Wimbledon quarterfinal involving Fery and Flavio Cobolli. Some may be more surprised than others at that quarterfinal lineup, particularly, and I think particularly Fery is the one that probably stands out. And in fact, Fery's up love 15 on the Cobolli serve, but it is 15 all after Flavio hits an ace down the tee. On the live chat, who do you think is going to win this match? Only 15 here on the Cobolli serve. And it becomes 40-15, so a couple of game points here for Flavio. He's going to tee patted back into play, but it's actually going to miss that. Actually, I think it's the net. It's another here. For the numbers 9 seed, Cobolli. Do make sure you hit that like button, people. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Cobolli 40-30 now, just adjusting his hat. Oh yeah, I mean, what's his Grand Slam record in the last couple of weeks or few weeks? 6-1 in Paris, and he's now 4-0 here. That's 11-1. Not bad, eh? And he holds. We've already had one Italian quarterfinalist lose today on the women's side. That was Jasmine Paolini in straight sets against Marta Kostruk. Fery's become the 5th British male player to reach the semi-final at Wimbledon alongside Roger Taylor, Tim Henman, Andy Murray, and Cam Norrie. Norrie, how about that? 2022, I think Cam played in the semis against Novak Djokovic. I think he won the first set as well. See a slice from Cobolli go into the net, so Fery winning that point there to get to 30 love. Start here for Fery, considering it could easily have been pretty overwhelming for him, bearing in mind his lack of experience at this level. Get in the comments section on YouTube. Let us know where you're tuning in from and also who you think is going to win. Slice defense there, but ooh, the missed volley there from Cobolli. Kind of inexplicable, that one. It was a very easy volley. Probably harder to miss than make. Fery relieved to win that point to get to 40-15. So, 3 holes of serve to begin this match. Fritz and Zverev are close to getting underway. They're just warming up as we speak. Nice forehand at the line there from Fery to get to love 15 here on the Cobolli serve. Flavio is the slower of the two, I would argue, to settle right now. It's kind of surprising.
My name is
It's love 30 here on the Cobolli serve. Nice little redrop. Oh no, it's missed it. And then he put the volley away nicely. So love 30. Welcome to those of you tuning in for Taylor Fritz against Alexander Zverev. That match has yet to get underway. They're just practicing serves. Cobolli has won the next point to get to 15-30. Just practicing serves for now, those two, Fritz and Zverev. So Fritz, it's Zverev's first Wimbledon quarterfinal. Taylor's been to this stage before, including last year. And in 2022, Taylor was in the quarters, wasn't he, in 22? And in 24, I think, as well. Taylor, I'm going to say. I think in 24, he lost to Musetti in the quarters. In 22, he lost to Nadal in the quarters. Those two matches were 5 sets. Last year, he made the semis, where he lost in, was it 4 or 5 sets he lost to Alcaraz last year? Four. But he had set points then in the 4-set tiebreak to take it to a 5th. Okay, Cobolli here, rallying from love 30 down, and he does indeed hold for 2 games all. Hey Miroslav, how are you? Do make sure you hit that like button. As Zverev and Fritz are about to get underway on court number 1. Fery and Cobolli getting the center court. Many of you probably thought that Fritz and Zverev would start first because the match on court 1 began first at the quarterfinal on the women's side. But big difference is that it was a much quicker win for Kostyuk over Paolini than it was for Noskova over Mertens. Both were straight sets, but Mertens was a little bit closer. I think Mertens was it 6-3? Sorry, Noskova was 6-3, 7-5? Was it 6-4, 7-5? Something like that. Six 3 7 5. Kostyuk came through 6-3, 6-2. Meanwhile, Fery here serving at 2-all, 15-all. Taylor Fritz is going to serve first against Zverev. Do make sure you hit that like button, people. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Fery with a good serve there that Cobolli couldn't deal with, and therefore it's 30-15. Okay, second serve for Zverev to look at over on court number 1. And the first point of the match. $30 all here on the Fery serve. Meanwhile, Fritz has raced into a 40-love lead on his serve over Alexander Zverev. No football today. First day without World Cup football since the tournament began. I think 4 weeks ago the tournament began, if I'm right. 4 weeks tomorrow. I think it was a Thursday it started, wasn't it? Okay, 40-30 here for Fery on his serve, but it's going to be a second serve for Cobolli to look at. He gets his backhand in play. Backhand to backhand right now. Fery keen to avoid the forehand of Cobolli. Now it's on the defense, though, for Cobolli on that side. Cobolli moving from side to side. Fery in charge of this rally, and Cobolli can't live with it. Fery holds for 3-2. Fritz has also held 1-love. At the beginning of his encounter. So at the moment, both of these quarterfinals, are on serve. I have a question here from Zarian. Zarian, can you do me a favor? Can you hit the like button? And if you haven't done so already, can you hit subscribe? I have Cobolli beating Arthur Fery. That is my tip. I have Taylor Fritz beating Alexander Zverev. Zverev has won the first point on his serve. So in that match so far, we've had 5 points, and they've all been won by the server. I would say it's fair to say that Fery has settled a bit quicker than Cobolli, albeit that they are on serve over on centre court after 18 minutes. That one is 15 minutes ahead in terms of match play than Fritz versus Zverev on court number 1. But now we have got a point going against the serve, and it is on the Zverev serve, 30-15 there on court 1. And Cobolli and Fery are back on court, and they're playing their first point here on the Cobolli serve. Flavio going backhand to backhand right now. Now it's on the forehand of Fery, onto the forehand of Cobolli. Cobolli comes into the net. Does he put the net volley away? No, he doesn't. Love 15. Okay, Cobolli here, 2-3-15 all. 30-15 for Cobolli. Meanwhile, Taylor Fritz and Zverev. We've got a break point for Taylor Fritz. Break point. Let's tune into that for a moment because Cobolli and Fery are at 3-all. Break point, Fritz already straight at the gate. Although it's come and gone, but he's got another one now after a double fault from Zverev. Double fault Zverev, so a break point for Taylor Fritz. Straight out the gate here. Well saved though with the serve down the tee from Zverev, so back to deuce. Down the tee, on the turn from Zverev, so it's a game point now for the German. And he has held, saving a break point en route. Meanwhile, love 30. Fery here serving at love 30 against Cobolli. Comes into the net. Cobolli chases that down with a lob. It's going to land in. Fery in trouble. Fery in trouble. Smash from Cobolli, but Fery still in the rally. Forehand now from Cobolli. Goes into the net. Well done, Arthur Fery. Getting out of a big hole in that rally to get to 15-30, but maybe Flavio let him off the hook there a little bit. A with the smash and B with that forehand at the end. So 15-30. Still some more work for Arthur to do to get completely out of this hole. But at least he has some respite. Cobolli goes big up the line and misses. So 30-all there. Fritz is down on his serve against Zverev. I think 15-30. Indeed, 15-30 there on court number 1. Cobolli's going to have a break point, is he? Yes, he is on the Fery serve. Going for the big forehand cross court, and Fery couldn't deal with it. Stretching every sinew there to get his racket on the ball, but wasn't able to. So 30-40 on the Fery serve. 3 games all. Serves, and he misses the first serve. Ooh, it's gone long. So deuce. Double bounce there, so advantage Fery. Zverev gets the break over Taylor Fritz. And Fery holds for 4-3. Those two bits of breaking news. Fery saves a break point, holds. Zverev was down a break point on his serve after a double fault in his first service game, got out of that hole, and then went and immediately broke Taylor Fritz. So that's where we're at. Hey Jennifer, how are you? Do hit that like button, Jennifer, if you haven't already done so. And of course, hit subscribe. We got a change of end in both of these matches. Fery and Cobolli on serve in the first set. Zverev up an early break on Fritz in the first set. Okay. Cobolli to serve and Zverev to serve. Zverev and Fritz have played on grass a few times before. I remember the 5-setter that Fritz won at Wimbledon 2 years ago, maybe. I'd say that's in the 4th round. Yeah, 4th round in 2024. Zverev was up 2-0 in that match. I think he had a bit of a knee issue, didn't he? I don't know if that flared up in that match or at the end of that match, but still. Fritz and Zverev as well. Their head-to-head, I think, is like, what's it, like 6 or 7 matches in the row that Fritz has won? It's 10-5 for Taylor, but the last 2, 4, 6, 7 matches, have gone the way of Fritz. So Zverev led the head-to-head 5-3, but now 7 in a row have gone the way of Taylor, including a match in Halle on the grass this year, and also the Stuttgart final in the grass last year, and that 5-setter I just mentioned, which was the beginning of this 7 matches in a row run from 2024 at Wimbledon. And Zverev has 2 game points to get to 3-1, and Cobolli has a couple of game points to get to 4-all. It's going to be deuce now on the Cobolli serve. 3-4 deuce. Fery, Cobolli, 4 games all. Fery is the 5th male wildcard to reach the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. It's an ace from Fery out wide to get to 15 love. Cobolli can't deal with that serve, so 30 love. Meanwhile, Fritz and Zverev. It's Fritz serving at 1-3-15 all. We see Zverev's father there in the crowd, looking on anxiously. Well, it's been a good start for his son. (30-15) here, Fritz, 1-3. Comfortable hold for Fery, who's looked pretty comfortable on serve, really. Fritz, meanwhile, 40-15 after an unreturned serve. Do let me know in the live chat where you are tuning in from. Fritz misses the first serve at 40-15. And Zverev dumps that return into the net. So it is 3-2 for Zverev over Fritz, but it is 3-2 with a break. Meanwhile, Cobolli and Fery are on the change of ends. And when they return to the court, it will be Flavio serving to stay in the first set. And it is Fery who's looked the marginally better player thus far. Is that fair? Do let me know in the live chat who you think is going to win this match. Also, of course, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Getting amongst it in the live chat as well. We've got 4 contenders left on the women's side to win the title. Who is it going to be? The women's singles, that is. Just thinking about the women's singles and how often we've had a new winner. It just seems to be all the time at the moment. Swiatek was a first-time winner. Krejcikova was a first-time winner. Vondrousova was a first-time winner. Rybakina was a first-time winner. Ashley Barty was a first-time winner. Halep was a first-time winner. Kerber and Muguruza. The last time we didn't have a first-time winner was 2016. Serena Williams. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 first-time winners in a row. We've got Coco Gauff, haven't we, in the semi-final against Karolina Mukova. And we've got in the other semi-final, Marta Kostyuk coming up against Linda Noskova. Okay, Zverev is serving 30-15. Cobolli serving to stay in the set. He's also at 30-15. $30 all, Cobolli. Okay. Okay. So, big moment here. Cobolli serving 4-5, 30 all. Down the tee, doesn't make the first serve. Second serve for Fery to look at. 30 all. Double fault, 30-40. Set point, Arthur Fery. Wow. Okay, Fery to serve. Where are you going to go with this serve? Out wide, backhand. Oh, it must have just clipped the net on the way through. I thought that was a sensational return winner there from Fery. It's not. Say, it's another first serve here. Misses the first serve, Cobolli, down the tee. So a second serve for Arthur Fery to look at on this set point. Backhand return, forehand from... It's going to be missed! Fery wins the first set by 6-4. Wow! Woohoo! Fery leads by a set to love over Cobolli. Okay. Over to Fritz and Zverev, where last we saw Zverev was up a break. He's still up a break 4-2, but it is Fritz serving here at 2-4, 30-15. Make that 40-15. Yeah, let me know in the live chat who you think is winning the women's title. We've got 4 options now. Gauff, Mukova, Kostyuk, or Linda Noskova. I think we've got 2 grass court players in there against 2 phenomenal tennis players. The grass court players being Mukova and Noskova. Are we going to get an all-Czech final? But the phenomenal tennis players are Coco Gauff and Marta Kostyuk. Gauff is the only one who's won a Grand Slam before. Mukova has been in a final at the French Open in 2023, I think it was, wasn't it? And Kostyuk and Noskova have never been in a final, but one of them will be because they're playing each other in what I believe will be the second semi-final tomorrow. Fritz has held, so things still pretty tight there on court number 1 and over on centre court. The British sensation, Arthur Fery, is up a set to love on the French Open finalist, Flavio Cobolli. It's Fery and Cobolli already getting underway at the beginning of the second set, and it's going to be Fery who will serve first. And it is love 15 on his serves. Zverev here serving at 4-3 with a break. Is it fair to say that Zverev was the slight underdog going into this match? I'm not sure if that's just me thinking he was the slight underdog or whether there's something else to say elsewhere. It's a lovely forehand up the line there from Cobolli to get to love 30. A double fault from Fery, and it's love 40 on his serve to begin this second set. Taking the wind out of his sails, so to speak. Rafa and we, can you do me a favor and hit the like button on this video? And if you are new to the channel, do please hit subscribe. Hey, United Road. Long time, hope you're well. Cobolli and Fritz lose today. I'm just going to stand with the covers. Well, Cobolli's got the early break on Fery. So a good start for the Italian in the second set. Less said about the first for Flavio than the better. Just didn't really turn up. Flavio does that, right? In the French Open final. Like, I think the first set, maybe, I was going to say another set, but no, just the first set, just didn't show up. Someone needs to set his alarm and make him wake up about an hour before. Because he's an hour out of sync and it's always the first set. So Cobolli here looks to consolidate the break and he's love 15 down. Fritz is in a spot of bother in the first set against Zverev because he's down a break and Zverev is up 4-3, 40-30. Cobolli has at least won the next point to get to 15 all. Got a poll going on YouTube if you want to vote in that poll as to who you think is going to win the women's title. That's the poll there. To get voting in that. Are we going to get a couple of 5-setters? Two game points here for Cobolli to consolidate the break. And he does indeed consolidate to get to 2-love. Well, at least they're feeling the emotion. Fritz is at least going to force Zverev to serve out the first set. I'm not super excited about either of these two matches. Sorry. Right, time to switch our attention, I think, to the semi-final between, the quarterfinal with the semi-final berth at stake between Fritz and Zverev, because Zverev is serving for the first set. Okay, Zverev serving for the set, 5-4, 15 all. Cobolli is up 2-1 with a break in the second. Down a set to love, though, to Fery. Backhand from Zverev. It's going to go long, and so it's going to be 15-30. Forehand Zverev. It's going to hit the baseline. Okay. Backhand to backhand right now. Forehand Taylor. Backhand Zverev is going to go long. 15-40. Cobolli 2-1, 30-15. Zverev serving for the first set is down 15-40. Ace out wide from Zverev saves the first set point, 30-40. Cobolli is at 30 all on his serve. Such a funny player, Cobolli. So, second set point here for Fritz. Good serve down the tee, block return is going to go long. Much to the delight of Alexander Zverev. Deuce. Fery's going to have a break back point on the Cobolli serve. Zverev has set point. His first set point, he saved 2 break points. Now, what about Fery on this break point? He's got it! Arthur Fery's broken back, 2 all. Wow. Okay, what about Zverev here? Serves. Misses the first serve. Missed forehand return from Taylor Fritz. He can't believe it. He's not hit that cleanly at all. And Zverev wins the first set by 6-4. So, 38 minutes on the clock for that encounter, and Zverev leads 6-4. In the other match, where Cobolli serving to stay in the first set at 4-5 and got broken, Fery nabs the first set. Second set, Cobolli decided to wake up and start playing. Got the early break, got to 2-love, but has now been broken back. Out of nowhere, seemingly. Given the momentum of the match seemed to be swinging the way of the Italian. And so it's 2 all. Yeah, I'm not sure I subscribe to this opinion, Maximus, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes it's better to play a little bit one day, a little bit the next, and then continue the next, rather than, you know, play a full match one day and then a full day off. It depends on the nature of the matches, and it depends on where your body's at. But I wouldn't say it's as black and white as you suggest, put it that way. I don't think it's a big deal for Zverev, put it this way, that he's played now 3 days in a row, because he only played 2.5 sets on Monday, 1.5 sets yesterday. So you're going to be practicing anyway. Why not have a competitive match? In fact, even better. So Arthur Fery is lovely drop shot from Arthur to get to 30-15. Fritz is going to serve first at the beginning of the second set. 15-love, he's up. Fery here seeking to get to 3-2. $30 all here on the Fery serve. Which one of these two matches is going to get done first, do we think? Tricky. Game point Fery, 40-30.
You know, when I'm feeling a little nervous, it means that I'm enjoying this much. And can you tell me about the second set in particular? I sweat. Take that down at some crucial moments, but I've put one match. We're going to be easy. None of these matches are.
Through to the semi-finals.
First Grand Slam.
Okay. Fery holds for 3-2. So from 2-love down, 3 games in a row for the Brit. And that's where we're at. Mind you, meanwhile, Fritz is here at 30 all. Lovely forehand at the line there from Zverev. And he's going to have a break point at the beginning of this second set. But Fritz saves it. Deuce. Big serve out wide that Zverev just couldn't handle. Goes to their fiddlesticks. Didn't know you said that in it. We used to say that a lot at school in the UK. Backhand from Zverev goes into the net. Game point, Fritz. What's going on here? Vincenzo, can you do me a favor? Vincenzo, hola Vincenzo, ¿hablas español? Si hablas español, avísame en el chat, porfa. Cobolli here, 2-3, 15 love. Deuce here on the Fritz serve once again, but it's a good serve out wide for him to get another game point. He saved a break point already in this game. Cobolli here serving at 2-3, 15 all. And Fritz holds. Big hold, that one for Taylor. Saving a break point to begin this second set. Had his chances, didn't he, on the Zverev serve at 15-40. And when Zverev was serving for it, including a second serve on Zverev's first set point. Anyway, it is what it is. Zverev leads by 1-0. And Fritz leads by 1 game to love at the beginning of the second set. There seems to be some conversation between the umpire and someone backstage. I do hope it's not for a physio for either of the two players. If it is for either, I think it might be for Taylor, but we'll see. Hola Vincenzo, si hablas español avísame porque yo puedo hablar español y quiero decir algo. But if you don't speak Spanish, that's also fine, and I'll stick to English. I can do German and maybe even some Portuguese, but I don't speak Italian. Game point here for Cobolli, 2-3, 40-30. Forehand here for Zverev, should be an easy put away. Ooh, nearly, Taylor. Alex, which match? Which match? Come on, Flavio, says Ghosty. Flavio is such a funny player. So unpredictable. Drives you nuts sometimes. But I guess that makes it fun. 30 love here for Zverev on serve at love 1. Portuguese from Brazil in particular. What a backhand down the line from Taylor Fritz. Wow. 30-15. It might be a fairly meaningless point. You're down 30 love on your opponent's serve, and it's the beginning of the second set, and you end up, you know, just losing the game to 15 or to 30, and it means nothing, right? But if he gets the break, it'll maybe be huge. But chances are pretty low, I would suggest, but we'll see. Maybe that's why he can pull off that. Rather than when he needs it most, it's a little easier when you're down 30 love at the beginning of the second set. And indeed, Zverev wins the next point to get to 40-15. Cobolli has at least held to get us to 3-all. I'm going to stand up, I think, for a little bit. And Zverev does indeed hold to 15. I think Cobolli wins, but it's not been great so far from Flavio. Just a few flashes from the Italian. Yeah, hit that like button, people. And Alex, if you can subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Where are we at with our subscriber count? We are on 33,551 subscribers. That is more than Centre Court, Court 1 and Court 2 put together. That's where we're at. Taylor here making Zverev run, but Zverev defending really well. And now turning defense into attack, but he's going to miss that backhand. So 30 love Fritz. Cobolli and Fery are at the change of ends. It is 1 set to love to the Brit, which may surprise some. Change of ends. Cobolli to serve at 3-4. Fritz has held for 2-1. Now, I'm keen to know if there was a conversation between the umpire and somebody backstage a little while ago, and I'm keen to know if there was any major issue for either player. We're about to find out.
And fully deserved. And by the way, I like what Jose Morgado is saying here, just reminding us.
Oh, we've gone to a commercial break on my TV, so I might not know.
Prediction. Don't forget to subscribe. I've said it. It's all about the return. And if Linda shows up and she returns as well as I think she can, she wins this match.
Okay. Oh, it is Taylor who's getting some attention here. As I said, I thought one of them might need it. I just hope it's something that can be fixed quite easy. Is Taylor going to go off court? No, he's just going to... It could just be a bit of sickness or something like that. Headache, which is something that hopefully just can be alleviated very quickly. No, he's getting some cream out, it looks like. The physio here. Now he's got his blue glove out. Oh my goodness, I don't want to see that happen on the court, please. Ghosty. There doesn't seem to be too much concern in the Taylor camp. Although it is a tension to the right leg, and tendonitis, of course, in that knee where I see he's getting some attention, has been an issue for Taylor for some time now. And you just hope that whatever these guys can do, they can just get him in a good shape. Oh my goodness me, Cobolli 3-4, 15, 30. Okay. Taylor still getting some attention here to that right knee. So it's in a medical timeout. Cobolli holds for 4-all. Hola, Vincenzo. Well, I've got some things going on here in the live chat, so I'm just looking at this now. Come on, Fritzy, show on. Right, Zverev is serving at 1-2 in the second set. Fery is serving at 4-all in the second set. I'll just switch over to that one now. Everyone, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. Fery here serving at 4-all, 30-15. After that shot goes into the net there from Cobolli. Can I have a quick look at our poll as well that I've got on our community tab for the women's singles title? Most people are backing Coco Gauff at the moment. Yeah, don't know. For me, she might be the outsider for me from the four, personally. But what do I know, hey? Big call, John. Cobolli goes into the net on that backhand. So it's 40-15 for Fery. Zverev there gesticulating to the crowd after he wins a pretty epic point. 40 love up here on his serve. Okay, 40-15 here, Zverev. And Fery is held for 5-4. Go Yannick, says Vincenzo. Go Wimbledon, says Vincenzo. How about that? Coco does have a ton of heart. I admire that aspect of her game, but also don't think she's a favourite for the time. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at as well, but there you go. I'm going to have a look at the same poll that I put on Twitter. Not so many votes, but Coco is third in that poll, but a lot fewer votes. The one on YouTube has got hundreds of votes already. Okay, Fritz and Zverev at 2-all, and Fritz is just stretching out that knee. Fingers crossed it doesn't end up becoming a bigger issue for Taylor. Cobolli's going to serve to stay in the second set. Forehand from Fritz up the line. It's going to be a winner from the American for 15-all. From my perspective, it's okay, Ghosty, but I don't know if I'm the judge and jury on this issue. Cobolli up 15-all big. It's become 15-all now. Cobolli is serving to stay in the set again, just like in the first set. And he didn't manage to hold serve, hence Fery went up a break, up 1-set-to-love. As the Zverev-Fritz match hits an hour. $30-all Fritz Zverev. Oh my goodness me. Cobolli here. 15-30. So Cobolli here, serving to stay in the second set. 4-5, 15-30. Ace down the tee from Flavio, 30 all. He wants that same ball back, I think. 6 aces for Flavio. Fritz has held for 3-2. Misses the first serve there. Does Flavio. Backhand return from Fery is pretty good. Slice there into the forehand of Fery. Forehand from Flavio. Wow, what defense there from Fery. What defense from Fery. Staying in this point incredibly. And incredible defense this. This is wild from Fery. It's going to be a tricky smash this for Flavio. And it's ultimately going to win in the point, 40-30. Wow. Game point for Cobolli to get to 5 all. Block return. Forehand cross court. Forehand now to forehand. It's a nice forehand from Flavio that. And the backhand from Fery goes into the net. 5 all. Backhand cross court from Flavio into the backhand of Fery. Forehand from Cobolli. Forehand to forehand right now. Now it's on the backhand of Fery. Forehand Cobolli up the middle of the court. Cobolli, is he going to get to this drop shot? He is. What a volley from Fery. What a volley from Arthur Fery. 15 love. What a return from Cobolli, though. Wow, 15 all. Whew. Fery gets to 30-15. And it's going to be 40-15. Fritz and Zverev at 3-all in the second set. Fery and Cobolli are at 5-all in the second set, and it's 2 game points for Fery to get to 6-5. First serve is a fault, but he does get to 6-5. So once again, Cobolli is going to serve to stay in the set. 5-6 at the change of ends. In the Taylor-Fritz-Zverev match, things are not looking great for Taylor. He's down a set to love. He's had a medical timeout for her knee issue. And he's down love 15 at the beginning of this service game. $15.30 here on the Fritz serve. I'm fearing a sort of a situation here for Taylor. Good serve down the tee, 30-all. Five, 6, Cobolli, love 15. Going to switch over to that one now. Flavio. Sean, I think you made a couple of typos there, but I think I've got you. Fery's backhand return has been incredible. I think Cobolli's struggling with the heat more than Fery. Yeah, you might have something there. Love 30 here. Look at that block return. And the Cobolli forehand, which is normally his strength, is a weakness there. So love 30 on the Cobolli serve here. Okay. First serve goes into the net from Zverev. Sorry, from Cobolli. Love 30, second serve. Backhand return is really good. Backhand again from Fery. Forehand Cobolli. Forehand from Fery. It's a good... The defense from Fery is off the charts today. 15-30 though. He can't get to that one and get it back on the island. But the defense from Fery, sensational. Fritz has held for 4-3. Some concerns looks from the Cobolli box, understandably, but at least he gets to 30-all here, and from love 30, he was in big trouble. How long can Fery keep this up for? I don't know. Okay, this should be Flavio's point. It is. Good serve out wide. Lofted ball short. Easy forehand put away winner. 40-30. Unreturned serve. We're going to a tie break between Cobolli and Fery. So, tie break time there. Zverev is down 3-4 in the second against Taylor Fritz. We'll see, Sean. We'll see regarding Fery and Flash in the Pan. But anyway, let's just hone in on this tie break. 1-0 Fery, ace down the tee. Oh, and Cobolli's going to miss that backhand. So 2-0 Fery. Cobolli wins the next point, though, with an unreturned serve. 1-2. Zverev looking pretty comfortable here to get to 4-all. He's 40 love up at 3-4. Fery here with a mini break advantage in this tiebreak, leads 2-1. It's going to be 3-1 now after this second serve. Forehand return there from Flavio was just no. Straight into the net. Zverev holds for 4 games all. Back to centre court where Fery has helped 3-1 in this tiebreak. He's got an easy forehand here. Cobolli just about defends it. An easy smash though for Fery. Is that going to land in? No. So 4-1 Fery. Taylor at 4 games all and 30 love. Good serve down the tee there from Cobolli to get to 4-2 at the change of ends. Yes, Nahel. Indeed. Fery's defense is just wild. His athleticism is crazy. Cobolli misses the first, and he's unnerved Flavio at times. Second serve here. Down the tee, backhand return. Forehand now. Look at that defense again. It's just insane. But actually, in the end, it eventually breaks down. But Flavio's on top of some of these points, but he just can't put Arthur away. 4-3. Still a mini break advantage here for Fery. Over on court number 1. Fritz is serving 4-all, 30-all. This is the first serve here, does Fery at 4-3. How costly will that be? Break point for Zverev over on court number 1. Just watching this rally pan out. Cobolli's missed that up the line, so it is 5-3, and Zverev gets the break. Zverev leads 6-4, 5-4 with a break. Arthur Fery, 5-3 in this tiebreak. Serving here. If he wins this next point, he'll get to 6-3. And we'll have 3 set points. He's missed the first serve, though. Forehand return from Flavio into the backhand. Forehand here from Flavio. Forehand now. Backhand Flavio. It's going to go long. 6-3. 3 set points for Arthur Fery. So 3 set points for Arthur Fery. The first 2 will come on the Cobolli serve. And Cobolli's going to miss the first serve. Remember, he was up 2-love with a break. Forehand here from Flavio. Not the cleanest of forehands, but the rally continues. Got to come into the net here. Oh, what a volley from Flavio Cobolli. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Woohoo! Saving the first set point. If he wins this set and goes on to win the match, that'll be the moment potentially that people will be talking about. Okay, still though, there's still 2 more set points for Flavio to save. Misses the first serve. Second serve, therefore. Backhand return, which has been really good today. Oh my goodness. This is going to land out. Arthur Fery wins the second set by 7-6. He leads by 2-0, and the crowd, of course, understandably, are going wild on centre court. Well, ladies and gentlemen. It does make court number 1 a little bit underwhelming, but we're going to go there right now to see Zverev serve for the second set. Is he, just like Fery, going to take a 2-0 lead? Well, he's 15 up on his serve, so he's made the ideal start. Zverev, 3 points away from a 2-0 lead. Arthur Fery is going to go off court to just compose himself. 2-0 he leads. Backhand slice from Zverev. Backhand up the line into the forehand of Taylor Fritz. Forehand from Zverev is going to go into the net. So 15-all. All here, Zverev, 6-4. It's going to be 30-15 for Zverev. In 2025, Zverev led the ATP Tour in his first serve percentage, landing in 72.4%. I don't know how it's bearing out in 2026, but he's still pretty high up when it comes to that kind of stat and metric. So that wide backhand return goes into the net. So 2 set points now for Zverev and a 2 sets to love lead. We have seen him lose a 2 sets to love lead before over Taylor Fritz. Okay, Zverev to serve. Down the tee, backhand return goes into the net, and Zverev does take a 2 sets to love lead. As he bears down on potentially a first ever Wimbledon semi-final. Taylor Fritz is going to go off court. Whether he's going to get some... That knee has been troubling him. He had a medical timeout earlier in the match. And so what we've got is we've got 2 matches here. And we've got 2 players with 2 sets to love leads. The stats from that second set in the Zverev-Fritz match. We saw Zverev getting 83% of his first serves in and winning 100% of his second serves. Fritz won just 31% of his second serve points and wasn't able to get a break point on the Zverev serve. So at the moment, Zverev is very much on top. Much as Arthur Fery is very much on top against Cobolli. But we'll see. Can either of these 2 players make a fight back? I say either of these 2 players. Taylor Fritz against Zverev. Or Flavio Cobolli against Arthur Fery. Do let me know in the live chat whether you think either of these players can make a comeback. And which one? I think it's Flavio. If one of these is going to make a comeback, normally I would say that if Taylor is not out of it, but just the way the match is going. Yeah, so maybe Snehill is onto something here. Maybe Cobolli wins a set, but not enough to win the match. Maybe he wins 2, but still Fery prevails. Don't forget, of course, Fery's had a 5-setter against Dimitrov in the previous round. Flavio in conversation with his team, and it doesn't look like the most cordial of conversations. Flavio's like, but I think he means in terms of just like, I'm not interested in your dialogue, my friend. That's where I think it's at. That conversation. Right. Taylor's back on court. Umpire's called time for them to commence the 3rd set. Taylor Fritz will serve first at the beginning of the 3rd set as I see Arthur Fery return to the court. Fritz wins the first point at the beginning of this third set, so he's up 15 love. $30 love for Taylor. Let first serve. It's going to land out from Zverev. So 40 love for Taylor here. And what's looking like a pretty quick hold for the American. And he needs some of that right now. Second serve for Zverev to look at here. Cobolli is serving first at the beginning of the next set, and he's already down love 15. Yeah, 97 Merch here, not happy with the way things are panning out for Taylor Fritz. $97 S Merch. 97 Smirch or 97 S Merch. Can you do me a favor and hit subscribe on our channel? That would be amazing. Cobolli here 15 all. Ghost Hunter says he's or she is happy. I don't know if that's because they are a Arthur Fery fan or if they are a Taylor Fritz fan. Sorry, an Alexander Zverev fan. Or maybe they're just happy because they are a Switzerland fan in the football, who won, of course, last night on penalties. Or maybe they're an England fan in terms of the football and making the quarterfinals of the World Cup, plus having a potential British semi-finalist in the tennis. Oh dear, Fritz going from 40 love to deuce. But Fritz is going to get a game point here. Got one love. We can have a break point for Arthur Fery. Taylor holds for one love. Fery gets the break. What is going on, people? Arthur Fery leads by 2 sets to love and a break. Wow. If Cobolli is to win this match, he's going to have to come from 2 sets to love down and a break, which is pretty wild. Zverev here, 30 love up. Yeah, fair enough. 97 smirch. Fair enough. It's going to land out from Zverev, so 30-15. Meanwhile, 15 all on the Fery serve as he looks to consolidate that break. Well, I'm not so sure, Sam. I mean, it's not looking great right now. And it's looking like, I mean, a million matches have looked like something and then turned out to be something very different. But it's looking like a Fery winning straight sets right now. It's a long way to the finish line, and we'll see how Arthur deals with the pressure. But until now, he's dealt with the pressure beautifully. None more so than in that 5-set win he had over Dimitrov. Nice smash winner there for Fritz to get to 40-30. Well, that's just too far away to comment. But of course, if I imagine it goes the way it does, and therefore Cobolli comes from a set, 2 sets to love and a break down to force a fifth, then of course you'd have to be sort of thinking Cobolli has the momentum. But oh, how's Taylor missed that? 1 game all. Now, though, 30 all is a really interesting moment on the Fery serve as he looks to consolidate that break. What's going on? Deuce here, Fery Cobolli. I mean, he is a good grass court player. Got to the quarters at Wimbledon last year. Here he is in the quarters again. We've got a break point here for Flavio Cobolli to get it back on serve. This is huge, as Sam says. This is huge. Break point, Flavio Cobolli, to get this back on serve and perhaps rest the momentum from Arthur Fery right now, which is all with the Brit on home territory. I'm just watching it right now. What a point this is turning into. What a point from Arthur Fery to save that break point. He's everywhere right now. Deuce. Break point Zverev against Fritz. After Fritz goes long with a forehand. And Fery's going to have a game point for 2-love. Where am I watching? Do you mean which channel I'm watching, Sam? Fery holds for 2-love. And it's all about that break point that he saved, right? I mean, it's just wild what we're seeing from in terms of the defense and athleticism from him. Zverev gets the break. He leads 2-1. He leads. So we've got two players now up 2-love and a break. Are they both going to get this done in straights? So, current state of play. Fery leads Cobolli by 2-love and a break. And Zverev leads by 2-love and a break. And I tell you what, Cobolli is in big trouble because he's down 15-30 on his serve here as well. He's cutting a forlorn, frustrated figure as we speak. After an hour and 57 minutes of play. And it's going to be 2 break points for Fery to basically get the job done. Look at how he's moving around the court like a man possessed. Pretty wild at the moment. 2 break points for Arthur Fery to go up 2 sets to love, 3 love with the double break. Cobolli saves the first break point, 30-40. Zverev has 2-1, 40 love. 3 game points for the German to go up 3-1. It's a lovely forehand winner there from Cobolli to get to 30-40. And Zverev does hold for 3-1. I just don't know if there's any way back for Fritz and Cobolli right now. Fritz, because of where he's at physically and how the match has panned out. Cobolli's in a mental hole and Fery's on a mental high, but at least Cobolli has saved those 2 break points to get to deuce. Fery has another break point. So Fery here, break point on the Cobolli serve. Flavio serves down the tee, block the turn. Forehand Flavio is going to be too much. And he cups his ear. Deuce. Deuce. Flavio on the defense. Flavio on the defense. Flavio on the forehand. Don't know why he went down the middle of the court there, Flavio. And Fery is just not missing at the moment, which is a real problem for Flavio. Flavio on the defense again. Flavio on the forehand, making low net coverage there, going in behind. Flavio on the defense with that slice. Now on the Flavio backhand, but he's just too tired at the end of these rallies. And Fery is not tired. Break point once again for Fery. Fritz in all sort of bother, 1-3. Do make sure you hit that like button, people. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Break point for Zverev. Break point for Cobolli. Sorry, for Fery. And he's missed the forehand. Fery leads 3-love with a double break. Zverev leads 4-1 with a double break. Okay. So, two players are very close to the semi-final at Wimbledon. Alexander Zverev, who leads by 2-0 and a double break on Taylor Fritz, and Arthur Fery, who leads by 2-0 and a double break on Flavio Cobolli. Can Fery get over the line? Can Zverev get over the line? Well, Zverev is very, very close. He's even just that bit closer than Fery. Given that he's 4-1 up. It's all about nerves now for Fery, I think. If he just maintains this level, there's probably not much Flavio can do about it. It's a good return there from Cobolli. Maybe Flavio can loosen up a little bit now as well, given the scoreline. But two problems. One is that Arthur is just not missing at the moment. And two, Flavio is. 15 love here for Fery. And 15 love is soon going to become 30 love. Zverev here serving at 4-1. Ace down the tee from Fery to get to 40 love. And he's racing into this. It's 4 love. This is just wild right now. I was just suggesting perhaps a Flavio comeback, even from a breakdown in this set. But no. Maybe Fritz can mount a comeback. He's 4-1, but it is love 15 on the Zverev serve. But Zverev wins the next point, 15 all. All right, I'm going to bring Amanda forward. If you can give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I think you're ready, Amanda. Just give me a thumbs up if you are. Brilliant. Here we go. Well, I said that it was going to be a Cobolli win, but here we are. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go backstage, Amanda, and I'll be back whenever this match finishes in 10 minutes or 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be here for that long, just considering how these matches are going today. Definitely surprised by both, but especially this one here with Cobolli, because yeah, it's been so non-competitive. And I mean, there was that second set, but Cobolli was up a break, got broken back. And yeah, it's been a really rough match for him, and it is just getting worse as Fery is up a double break in the third now. And I've seen Flavio Cobolli have some crazy comebacks, but I think this one might be a bit much to handle, especially with the whole crowd against him, obviously. But yeah, Flavio Cobolli trying to get himself on the board here on his serve. But that was a great forehand winner from Fery. He is just playing so well right now. I mean, so high on confidence, understandably so. Just considering the nature of his wins, 2 fifth-set tiebreaks in a row, and he's playing at home, literally at home. I feel like with a lot of British players, you say it's the home slam, and it is, but then with Fery, he's actually from Wimbledon, so this is quite literally his backyard. Longer rally here, and Fery just gets that backhand down the line winner. I feel like Cobolli didn't really try to go for that. And like he's never a player where I'd think, oh, he kind of gave up, but there I don't know, it does feel like he kind of gave up on that point, which, I don't blame him at this stage in the match. I mean, it's clearly been a very frustrating match for him, and I don't blame him. But yeah, it feels like that point he kind of let that one go. So now he's down 15-30 on his serve. This set could very well be a bagel. And Fery just staying in the point, but slice goes long. A lifeline for Cobolli, 30-all. That very easily could have been 2 break points there if Fery's slice had been just a couple inches up towards the baseline. But yeah, Cobolli feels like he really needs this game, because if he doesn't win this game, then he's getting served at for the match. Oh, and that is a wild forehand from Cobolli. So now Fery does have break point to go up 5-love, which I did not see this coming at all. I mean, I predicted Cobolli to win this. I think most people predicted Cobolli to win this, because when you have a run like Fery's, I feel like a lot of the time it's just like, how much longer can he keep this up? But not only has he kept it up, he's playing better now. But Cobolli does save that break point, gets it to deuce. But yeah, I mean, because Fery, he was on the verge of losing to Zizou Bergs like 4 times in the 3rd round? Yeah, in the 3rd round. And then he was down a break against Dimitrov in the 4th set, in the 4th round twice, and went to a 5th set tiebreak in both of those matches. But he's really just been playing better, because in the 3rd round, he, by all rights, should have lost that match. In the 4th round, he also probably should have lost that match, but like a little less. And now, I mean, he is completely in control, and he has another break point here. Cobolli misses that first serve. Definitely needed that. So second serve here. Did that go? Oh, I thought that was wide. Oh, no way. Oh my god, Cobolli had the volley, but Fery got it back. Now he has the overhead. And Cobolli misses that forehand into the net, and Fery goes up 5-love, and he will serve for the match for the Wimbledon semifinals. Wow. Meanwhile, on court 1, Taylor Fritz did hold, so Zverev is also serving for the match at 5-2. Yeah, I mean, that one, I mean, it's such a shame to see, because Fritz clearly is not at his best. The knee injury holding him back, and yeah, it's just sad to see, because I know he was just talking about how he was playing without any pain and how rare that was for him. So for this to come back in such a big moment, yeah, that's just terrible to see. But I mean, he did a great job this grass season, I think. He didn't defend all of his points, and I think he will drop in the rankings, but there was so much pressure on him to pick up points here, because he really had such a tough first half of the season. And I mean, it's kind of the same story as last year. He just needed to have a good grass season, and he did. Two finals and a Wimbledon quarterfinal. That's maybe not quite at his standard, but still a very good grass season. But yeah, sucks to see it end like this. But yeah, both players serving for the match now, and we will stay with Fery, who is receiving lots and lots of support from the crowd. That's got to be tough if you're Cobolli. Like, you're losing this super important match, and everyone is against you. It's not like at the French Open, say, when he was losing that final. It's not like the entire crowd was against him, and right now it very much is. So this is going to be assuming this holds, which I think it will, this is going to be a tough loss for Cobolli. As Fery serves an unreturned down the tee to open the game. Definitely a good start for him. It's the same score in both games, 15-love across the 2 courts. Compared to yesterday, this is like the tamest day of tennis ever. Fery gets an ace down the tee. That tee serve is really working for him. So 30 love now. Yeah, that was his 7th ace. And he's 2 points away from the Wimbledon semifinals. Ooh, lucky net cord for Cobolli there, but Fery somehow, wow, I have no idea how he salvaged that point. That was just like riding the high, I think, because I don't even know how he won that point, but it is triple match point for Fery to win this match in straight sets, top 10 win, and make the Wimbledon semifinals. Fery serving, and he gets the ace, and Fery has done it. Oh my goodness, he is into the Wimbledon semifinals. That is quite the win. I mean, he was down and out in so many of his matches this week, and he just beat a top 10 player, not like in straight sets, in dominant straight sets too. 6-4, 7-6, 6 love. And he came back. Yeah, he came back from a breakdown in the second set, and he came back very early too. I mean, it could have been easy, getting broken right at the start of the set to just kind of falter throughout the set, but very, very quickly into the set, he broke back and didn't get broken for the rest of the match. Stayed so solid on serve, and obviously so solid on return, considering the tiebreak and that third set. And yeah, Fery first Grand Slam semifinal, and it comes at home at Wimbledon. The crowd is obviously very happy. I'm sure if you're a British person at Wimbledon today, you are having a great time. But yeah, I mean, a little anticlimactic in the quarterfinals today, all things considered, when we had that epic match yesterday, because Zverev has won in straight sets as well. He served out that match. So yeah, quarterfinals today are over 6 hours before they were yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking to Tom on WhatsApp about an hour ago, maybe a bit more, an hour and a half ago, saying, yeah, can you join sort of in 30 minutes from now, whatever time that is in the world, wherever you're tuning in from, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, although they could both be done by then. I was like, there's no way both of these matches are going to be done before then. I think that might have been when, in fact, it was around about the same time that Cobolli went up a break in the second that I was talking to him. And in fact, he said, and I don't blame him for this, he said, yeah, Cobolli's going to race away with this now in 4, but Fritz Fedev might still be going. As it turns out, both are done in around about 2 hours. Funny enough as well, the women's semis were done in straights.
The women's semis yesterday were much closer.
Yeah, right. But the two women's were done in straight sets. And yet, one of the women's semifinals took about 35 minutes longer than the other one, because the one on court 1 began half an hour before the one on center, but the one on center was done 5 to 10 minutes early, if that makes sense. So anyway, tennis being tennis, it is what it is. I know I asked you in the chat and you probably responded, but I'm not. Well, I kind of do know how Fery did it, in that he was defending unbelievably today, and Cobolli would just get frustrated at times.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a huge part of Cobolli's game, is just getting every ball back and frustrating your opponent. And I think he didn't really know how to deal with that coming against him. So, but yeah, Fery did a great job just adapting his game and utilizing his play style to just completely befuddle Cobolli. Feels like Cobolli had no idea what to do out there.
I saw Jake suggest that Cobolli is overrated. I don't know. I think the thing is with Cobolli is that he has 20-minute bursts, but he does go to the two extremes.
I don't think I'd call him overrated. I mean, I spent the whole last year calling him underrated, and then I got proven right recently. I don't think he's overrated. He just had he can just be a little inconsistent. And he has matches like this where he should win coming into it, and he just can't find his best level. And I mean, we saw it in the Kachanov match, like the highs are so high and the lows are so low, and that's just the type of player he is.
And of course, Arthur was also down a break in the fourth, I think, wasn't he, to Dimitrov. What Dimitrov must be thinking right now, I don't know, in terms of maybe the battle he would have
yeah.
against.
And Zizou Bergs too. I mean, he was up a double break in the fourth set and a break in the fifth set and couldn't close it out.
Ooh. See, that's what I mean. Yeah. Most players on tour there will be a slam out there where there's a semi-final run out there for them. There'll be things changing. There'll be moments. I mean, we see Noskova now in the semis, but she saved a match point with an incredible backhand down the line against Justeo, I think, a couple of rounds ago, 3 rounds ago, or something like that. And these sliding doors moments, and of course we had one with Dimitrov a year ago, but I think we've talked about that to the end.
Yeah.
We should really get back to Fery here. There was also the backhand return, I think, worked with him pretty well today. I haven't seen a lot of Fery's matches during this tournament, and I know we've spoken a bit about it before. Did you see his match with Khachanov? Have you seen him in other matches during this tournament, apart from the Dimitrov one?
Fery, I saw the tiebreak of the Bergs match, and I did see a lot of the Dimitrov match, but that was it.
And did those 2 moments in the match with Dimitrov, did that, because I remember saying, but Cobolli's winning this, he's the favorite, right? And both you and Brenner in particular actually sort of hesitated. I think you both probably leaned Cobolli, but you weren't as convinced as me, put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've just watched enough of Cobolli like throughout his career to know that the matches you think he's gonna win, he doesn't always win. Like I said, he's just so inconsistent and so unpredictable. And Fery was on this crazy run, and I did say, I think I said Cobolli either in 4 or 5, and clearly I was I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether there's some extra issue with Flavio today. Actually, I don't think so, because he wasn't the guy who went off the court at the end of the second set. It was Fery who went off to just have a few minutes to just probably compose himself and get going again in the third, which is interesting, actually, in terms of the mental and physical dynamics of that. And also, I could see, at least in terms of his demeanor and the way he was talking to his box, it didn't seem like a lack of energy from Flavio. In fact, the opposite. I would say he was remonstrating with his box. I think at one point he was like this to his box, not as in like, I want to come off court, but as in like, just leave it. Whatever you're saying to me, whatever energy you're trying to give me, don't do that or do something else. And there's all sorts of dynamics that we can talk about between player and coach and player and box there, but that's again for another time. But I don't think he was gassed at all. It's not like he's had a super arduous tournament. He came through in straights in the previous round over de Minaur. I just think we have these spells. I even said at the beginning of the second set today, when he got that break, and I did think that there was going to be a momentum shift towards him, and whether he ends up winning the match, I don't know, but it goes 4 or 5 in my book. At that point in my head, that's what I was thinking. And I compared it to the French Open final, where Cobolli just didn't show up for the first set. Because although Fery did kind of snatch that first set, when Cobolli served to stay in it, Flavio wasn't looking great in those first 8 games, 9 games of the set. And I think it was Fery who just was edging it in terms of threat, in terms of the way the points were panning out. So, yeah, and I remembered the first set in the French Open final where Flavio just didn't show up. And on that occasion, it was like, yeah, it's a Grand Slam final, first time in your career. Maybe you're being a bit overwhelmed by the occasion. And of course, he grew into that match. And I thought the same was going to happen today, but it just never happened, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, you'd think he'd be better in these moments now, because he made the Wimbledon quarterfinals last year and took a set off of Djokovic. And Djokovic was kind of injured in that match, but Cobolli just couldn't really take advantage of that. And you'd think that a year later, having the experience of the French Open, that he would be better in these big moments, but he just did not have it today. Right.
One more word on Fery. every time I think that maybe the occasion will get to him, maybe the crowd and the support of being at home might be a negative for him, it just isn't the case, right? I mean, against Dimitrov, I think he definitely was feeding a lot off the crowd, and maybe that is just the 1 or 2 points difference, which really is all that match came down to in Arthur's favor. But today I just thought, well, maybe again, it's going to be a step too far, and maybe, you know, expectation, newspapers, you know, he's there in the UK, he's from the UK, he'll be seeing what's going on, I guess, in the media at least. It's going to be very difficult for him to get away with in terms of the press he's having to do post-match, etc. And yet here we are, he's growing with the expectation rather than cowering.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he has nothing to lose. I mean, he makes the 4th round, and then he makes the quarterfinals, and now he makes the semifinals, and there's no pressure on him. Like, people aren't suddenly saying, oh, Fery's going to win Wimbledon. It's more celebrating his achievement as it comes, which I feel like is kind of rare. Like, when I think about the US Open, when an American player is doing well, the narrative is always like, oh, can they win the US Open? But I feel like the narrative with Fery is just, wow, look at what he's doing. So I feel like there's no pressure on him right now.
I know what you mean. Although I will say that if we wind the clock back to pre-Andy Murray era, the British players in Fery's shoes right now, there was a sort of, not an expectation, an anxiety that the run's going to come to an end at some point, but an anxiety also related to, you know, 60, 70 years without having had a Grand Slam champion. And I'm thinking about players like Jeremy Bates. I'm thinking about players like Mark Petchey, all the way through to Tim Henman. Of course, Henman was the one who was really getting very close with those semi-final runs. Fery is sort of more on the blind side and more like, you know what, let's just enjoy this while it lasts. And it's lasted now until the semi-final, incredibly. I just went on to the ATP website to put Fery against, I actually Googled Fery Zverev head-to-head, okay? And normally you go straight to the ATP website. Unlike when you do it on the women's side, it still takes a bit of negotiation to get that up. In fact, it took me to the ATP website, but in a weird way, it's got Fery against Bai, and as in BYE, as in like you've got an automatic pass to the next round. And it's a 0-0 head-to-head, which I didn't even know was possible. I'm actually going to show you.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't even know. It was just a glitch, or I don't know what's going on here. But he has an 0-0 head-to-head against Bai. So whether that is accurate,
that's so funny,
and that Fery's never had a bye in his life, maybe. I mean, he's never been sort of seeded or anything. So I guess at least at big tournaments, I'm sure he's not been seeded. That may happen in the near future if he keeps repeating runs like this. But it's actually the Zverev head-to-head that I'm looking for, which I'm assuming is also 0-0. I don't know if you know off the top of your head, or you've.
I can't think of any time they've ever played each other.
Yeah, there you go. 0-0.
Yes.
Sometimes you scroll down and there's been a futures or challenger match, which they don't include. But on this occasion, it isn't the case. Let's look forward to this semi-final, which actually is a little surprising on Zverev's side as well. I thought he would lose to Fritz today. Fritz, I don't know if you know or you saw or you're aware, he had a medical timeout at the end of the first set.
It was the tendonitis again, just at the worst time.
That's what I thought. Because as soon as there was a conversation, but they were dead on serve at this point. I think it was maybe 4-5 or 4-all or something like that. And I saw a conversation between Fritz and the umpire. Oh no, actually, sorry, I just saw the umpire on their microphone, on the walkie-talkie, and it was like, oh, okay, is that for the physio? Possibly. If it's the physio, which player? Both seem to be all right at that stage, but again, I'm leaning more towards Fritz because of the year he's had on and off the tour in terms of those spells off the tour. And then when it turned out to be Fritz, it's like, okay, what is it? Because then I was looking at the Fritz box and it was like, they didn't seem to be too perturbed. And initially the conversation between the physio and Fritz also was like, okay, maybe this is an illness. And I'm thinking, fingers crossed here, it's just a headache. It's just a momentary sickness or whatever. And he's just going to take a tablet and continue. What we don't want to see is, attention to the knee. And that's exactly what happened. And I didn't have commentary on, but I was then assuming it was the tendonitis returning.
Yeah, and like he just, like the movement just wasn't really there today. And I mean, I know with Fritz, movement is never his biggest strength, but he just couldn't really get into those rallies. And like his service games, once Zverev was getting into his service games, you could just kind of see Fritz's game breaking down a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, I'm also surprised to see Zverev at this stage, just considering his past Wimbledon results. But I don't know. I feel like if we have a healthy Fritz today, it's a different conversation.
May well be. I mean, obviously, 7 matches in a row had gone Taylor's way before today in that head-to-head. Interestingly, Zverev won the 5 of the first 8 and then 7 in a row. Yeah, I think you might be right. The way Zverev was serving, though, and the percentage of first serves landing in, I think it was around about 80%. Interestingly, Taylor on second serve was really struggling in terms of his own second serve. Now, again, I don't know if that's related to the tendonitis, but yeah, Taylor's not always like an elite mover. I don't think he's bad. I think he certainly made improvements in that area as well from the baseline. But yeah, Zverev coming through in this tournament. I think one of the reasons as well why I didn't have Zverev making the semis was not so much his draw was not bad, at least until the 4th round, but also just because I've suggested that this is the year that Zverev is going to make a quarters, make a semis, make a final at Wimbledon, and it's just never even really been close, that really. And maybe, I guess, 2 sets to love up on Taylor in 2024. Zverev, I think, picked up a knee injury at some point during that match, and maybe today was sort of karma for that in a way, in a positive sense for Alexander. Anyway, here he is. He's in the semis, and he's the favorite to make the final. I mean, I keep writing Fery off, but he's the favorite, whichever way we look at it, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is, but also we've seen Fery do some crazy things this week. So if he can meet the moment and just keep playing well, and I mean, we've seen he's a very solid backhand, which you need to compete with Zverev, and he has that. And I mean, he's just playing very fearlessly right now. So if he can keep doing that, I don't think it'll be as lopsided as these quarterfinals were, but Zverev is for sure the favorite.
The thing is with Zverev as well is this percentage of first serves landing in, and there are 3 or 4 players on the tour that can just about handle that even on grass, but one of them isn't in the tournament at all because they were injured, Carlos Alcaraz. The other 2 are on the other side of the draw. I mean, I was looking at the way Djokovic was dealing with the first serve of Felix yesterday, and it was just off the charts. It was
ridiculous.
Peak Djokovic getting his racket on it, but with interest. Often sort of stretching everything and getting his racket on it, but it was landing near the baseline, and suddenly the rally was at neutral at least. And obviously Yannick Sinner as well. There are other sort of top returners on their day, but some of them, in the case of Holger Rune's situation, have been off the tour for some time. So as good as well as Arthur returned today, especially on the backhand side, it's Flavio Cobolli. If Zverev is getting 80% of his first serves in,
yeah,
I'm not sure that Fery can deal with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Fery hasn't really faced a huge server yet, the way Zverev is. But we've seen him adapt to, his opponent's play style. So I could see a scenario where Zverev wins the first set in a very lopsided manner, and then Fery kind of digs his heels in the second set and the rest of the match.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the win over Vertana, I just thought the Fery win over Otto was like Otto doing what Otto does. He has an incredible result like he had against Shelton. And then, yeah. This half of the draw was, for me, I began the tournament thinking Shelton or Fritz. Tiafoe wasn't far away from my thoughts as well, but it was Shelton or Fritz to make the final. I didn't trust Alexander to get to the semis, as I've already highlighted. I did think Flavio or someone like that might make the quarters or whatever, but Otto sort of upset Ben, and then Fery upsets Otto, and then Fery upsets Bergs and keeps going. But yeah, Otto is someone that when that happened, I just thought this is Otto being Otto, as in like his peaks are high and his lows are low.
Yeah.
He rarely can back up big wins. He's so talented, but things do sometimes get away with from Otto in terms of back-to-back and certainly back-to-back wins. So I just thought, I didn't see the match against Fery, but I thought, oh, there you go. Didn't really give Fery a lot of thought. I know he had that crazy win over Bergs, but it wasn't really until the Dimitrov match and the Dimitrov win where, of course, he was down a break in the fourth, as we've highlighted, and then down a break again in the second today. So you certainly can't write off Fery in terms of guts and belief and making comebacks. But I do just see this being Zverev in straights.
I'm going to say Zverev in 4. I feel like Fery gets the set. I don't know. I have so much hope for this guy now, just considering what he's done this week. And I don't think he goes out in straight sets.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have watch-alongs as well for both of the men's semi-finals. We'll also have watch-alongs for both of the women's semi-finals. And as you said, today, these semi-finals getting done in double quick time about... So we pushed the curfew last night. We were close, even though that match started in a reasonable time. Actually, I was even saying during that fifth set tiebreak that if this goes 10-all, and I know that Wimbledon's pretty strict on that curfew. We've seen
There's no way they would have stopped it in the middle of a fifth set tiebreak. That would have been ridiculous.
What about if it gets to 11-all, 12-all? And it's not like I don't know. I've seen this curfew in how strict they are with it. You know, that there was a situation yesterday where there was 2 days ago, I think it was Lehecka against Zverev, where it was 3-all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, we're not letting this go to 4-3. And I was thinking, just let it get to the change of ends, because most service games are done in well under 5 minutes. And if it gets to the third or fourth deuce, fine, right? But because of how strict I think they find this curfew, the curfew is just like, there's no question that, I don't know. But I think this curfew is mega strict.
Yeah, I mean, if it was any other player, but like if you tried to curfew Novak Djokovic in that moment, it just would have been a disaster. He would have been so mad.
I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know how. I don't think there's much flexibility on the curfew. You know, a minute or two, sure. 2 minutes past 11. I don't know if there's a Wimbledon. So here's the answer. Has there been a single Wimbledon match that went to 5 past 11? I don't think so. Not 5 past 11 local time, of course. Since this curfew came into place, I don't think there has been. But
has there been a fifth set tiebreak happening?
No, again, possibly not, and that's fair point. But they don't push it. They don't even. So there have been matches that have been 3-all, 4-all, maybe getting close to that point in a third set or a fourth set, if you like, and they're not. You know, some matches they finish up as 10 because they know. For example, was it? I think Murray maybe in a match with Tsitsipas. I'm going to say about 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago, I think. And it's like, you know what? We're ending it now because we just can't get. We can get close to the 11 o'clock, but we just cannot. You just can't go past it. So, and I could be wrong, but
no. But what I think the difference there is that, like, okay, with this Zverev Lehecka match, if Lehecka had come back to win the set, which he did, then the match goes longer. But with a fifth set tiebreak, it's like the match is going to be over soon, no matter what you do. So I feel like you just play it out. But I mean, I guess we'll never know unless something like that happens again.
I know, but I think they can't. I think they. So I don't understand the same thing, but I just think they can't. They can't go beyond 11. Now they can by 1 or 2 minutes, but there's not. We haven't got 5 or 10 minutes to play with here. We're talking. This is the law. You've got to be shutting down this kind of thing. I think that's how it is. And I don't. You know, some of these things. You know, we've seen Macron getting on. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Macron made a telephone call. This is during COVID to the French Open organizers to let Djokovic, Nadal keep going, even though there was a curfew that night, which, was a political move. That do you know about this story?
I don't. Wait, I've never heard this.
2021, Nadal Djokovic 4-set French Open semi-final. The curfew in terms of COVID curfew was, I don't know if it was 11 o'clock or midnight, one of those two. I think it was 11 p.m. And that meant everyone has got to be home and all that other stuff and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, emergency workers, no problem. But Macron gave the green light to let that match continue another half an hour, whatever it turned out to be. So, yeah, I know there's always flexibility in these things, but I don't know. Well, we'll never know. Maybe someone can let me know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in comment sections and social media, someone may well correct us on this. But
we're not going to find out today.
no, with a tiebreaker, you just don't know. So 10 all, 11 all, 12 all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to test it. I wanted to test it at the World Cup with Balogun getting a goal and see how the Belgians would react, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh God, that game was terrible.
Yeah. Right. That's for another time. Thanks, Amanda, for this brief stint today. Yeah. Are you on? Have I got you on tomorrow? I think I'm.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
On the second one, I can do the second one. The first one's too early.
That's fine. I've got you and I think Rachel for various bits of that. I don't know. We'll talk about that on WhatsApp in a moment. But in the meantime, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me, even if it was only for like 20 minutes.
And to everybody else, you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.